Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. This is Love Apparel, and in today's video I'll be sharing with us how I went about the drafting of this beautiful gown you saw on my thumbnail. So if this is what you're interested in, you definitely want to keep on watching, and if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please subscribe and let's get started with this video. Okay, I'm using this lining for my cutting. Here I want to cut my princess that I'm marking from my shoulder to my chest line, my shoulder to my bust point, my shoulder to my under bust, and my shoulder to my half length. I left 1 inches for my joining. I divide my shoulder into 2 and mark. I came in by 3 inches for my neck depth, my neck width. I came down by 3.5 for my neck depth. I connect and curve the lines. I came down with 1 inches for my shoulder slope. I divide my shoulder line to get my midpoint. I came in with 1/2 inch and connect my line. I divide my bust band by 2, that's my nipple to nipple, by 2. So I connect the lines. I came in by my center front with half an inch. I came in with 1.752 and do the same on my half length line. So I connect my lines. I connect my darts to my chest line. I connect it to my shoulder midpoint. I connect it to my shoulder midpoint. I divide my bust by 4 and mark plus my seam allowance. At my under bust, I divide it by 4 and mark plus my seam allowance, which is plus the dart allowance, because the dart allowance is going off. I mark it. At my half length, I divide my waist by 4 and mark plus my 2-inch allowance that is going off. I mark it plus my seam allowance. I came out with 1 inches for my shoulder slope. So I came out from my shoulder slope with 1 inch for my with 1.5 inch to remark my new armhole. So I'll go ahead to connect my lines. So I cut, just now see the lines I'm cutting off. So I cut it off. So I'll go ahead and transfer it on my fabric. Because I've already added allowance on my lining, no need of adding allowance on the fabric. So now let's go ahead and mark for the back. So I'm using the same lining for the marking of my back. Mark from my shoulder to my chest line. From my shoulder to my bust point, I marked. From my shoulder to my under bust, from my shoulder to half length, and I left 1 inch for my joining. So I divide my shoulder into 2 and mark. I mark out 1 inches for my zipper allowance. So this 1 inches is for my zipper allowance. So I divide my bust into by 4 again and mark, plus my 2-inch seam allowance. I divide my under bust by 4 plus my 2-inch seam allowance. So let's label shoulder, chest line, bust point, under bust, and half length. I divide my hip half length by 4 and mark. So I connect my lines like of my armhole. At my under bust, I just mark a slight line for the zipper, not for the zip not to budge. I came in with, from my zipper, I came in with 3 inches for my neck width. I came down with 1.5 inches for my neck depth. Mind you, this is the back, so the basic neck depth for the back is 1.5 inches. So I mark and I connect my lines. I came down with 1 inches for my shoulder slope. So I place it on my African print. So I place it to cut everything at once. Mind you cut
this is it for our
or
back.
mark on folds. So let's go ahead and mark for that sleeve you saw on it. So my client do not want her own sleeve to be exactly like the one on the thumbnail. So she wants her own three-quarter hand. So this is it. I'm taking the length of my sleeve. So I just use my free hand to mark it. I cut 2 of the sleeve. So that is it for the sleeve. Let's go ahead and mark for our skirt pattern. I'm going ahead and fold my fabric. So here now I minus my half length, which is 18. From 18 I will take the length of my gown. I'm using 18 as my starting point. From that 18 I will bring down my tape to mark her hip line, which is 9 for basic hip line. I divide her waist by 4 and mark plus 2-inch seam allowance. I divide her hip by 4 and mark plus 2-inch seam allowance. connect the line all the way to the length of my gown. So I folded fabric again and place the front pattern on it, leaving 1 inch for the zipper allowance. So this is my 1 inch for the zipper allowance. The length will be the same. I slit open my back pattern. So this is it for the front and back pattern. I went ahead and cut for my lining. My gown is 1 inch longer than the lining. So please, if you are still here to subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share and comment. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Have a wonderful day.